Down to the one last week.
Yeah, it's a pretty good feeling, obviously. Trying to help out the team, the defense the best I can, I guess. Obviously disappointing result, but yeah, it was obviously good on my behalf, I guess. But yeah.
We're familiar with Pro Kid, so
yeah.
Cam Johnson. First of all, what's your relationship with Cam? Do you have a relationship?
Yeah, I speak to Cam pretty regularly. He's pretty good. I send him film and he sends me back some tips, and whenever he's back in town, we punt together and work at it together. So yeah, he's been real good for me.
What's this first year been like for you? What has kind of been the biggest adjustment for you to playing American football?
Probably practices, to be honest. I'd never experienced a football practice till day one of spring and didn't really know what was going on. And there's obviously a lot more people on a roster and coaching staff and whatnot than I'm used to back home. So that was a bit of a shock, and it's all a bit different. But probably practices and stuff like that.
What are maybe the things you enjoy the most about playing your first couple football games?
The fans have been pretty good. Obviously on the weekend we didn't get the result, but it was good to see the fans there in full force and cheering us on. So that's probably been the best part.
Do you know all the rules of American football? Are there still things you go, what's that?
I know most of the rules, to be honest. Yeah, there's obviously a couple of things here and there where I'm not exactly sure or I have to question it, but it's not too bad.
Did you already have an appreciation for just how important it is to pin a punt at the one, and what was kind of that celebration as a unit like?
Yeah, obviously I know that's the best result possible. And the celebration as a unit, it was a great job by Jackson on the first one to get there in a good position and help out there. And the second one, I think it was Julian, did a good job to get down there and cover it. So the unit was obviously pretty happy with both of them. So yeah.
Your relationship with Matt Barnes before you got here, how well did you know Parker Fleming before you got on campus?
Yeah, I spoke to Coach Fleming a fair bit as well, because obviously he was, I believe, a QC before he took over from Coach Barnes. So I used to speak to both of them, quite a bit. So I already had a bit of a relationship there. But he's been good for me since I've been here. So no complaints there.
What was it that made you decide to become a Buckeye, and has it lived up to your expectations so far?
Yeah, definitely has lived up to my expectations, and just. Obviously, it's a pretty easy decision to come and play football here. It's like the best fans in the country, one of the biggest stadiums in the country, and one of the best teams in the country. So it's a pretty easy choice, and definitely lived up to what I expected.
How much family see you play?
They actually all stayed up. It was on at midnight last weekend for them, so a bunch of them went over to my place and watched it, which was good. So it's tough for them, but they've found a way so far.
Brian Davis talked about how you're not a typical freshman because you're older for what a freshman is like. What kind of sense do you gather being an older freshman? And does that have an impact on your experience and how you play with the team?
I think I've got a little bit more maturity than obviously a typical freshman, which helps. I guess it's hard to be a leader day one when you're new to the sport, but I feel like I have some leadership skills and whatnot from playing football back home and being a little bit older that definitely translates. So.
How old are you?
24.
How much Australian rules football did you play growing up?
How much?
Yeah.
Since I was 4. Yeah. And we pass the ball by punting it to each other, so I've been doing that for a while.
Were you assaulted when Nick Saban said that he was going to go watch his punter, who's also from Australia, go play rugby with the rugby team? He basically didn't get the sport right. Did that insult you?
I didn't see it. It doesn't really bother me.
Yeah. And
how big is American football over there, man?
It's pretty big. College football is growing as well. There's obviously a lot of other Aussie guys over here. I got a lot of friends. The first 2 games have been Aussie pro kick friends of mine, so which has been good. And there's always a lot of NFL back on home as well. So it's definitely bigger than people probably think.
Is there a team that most Aussies root for in the NFL?
Not really. There's a lot of Green Bay fans normally. Don't know why, but there is. That's probably
Aaron Rodgers. Maybe?
Yeah, probably Aaron Rodgers. That's about it. But
how much did seeing what Cam did here play into your desire to become a Buckeye?
Obviously a lot. Like, Cam's had a very successful career and still is having a good career, and the opportunity that comes with playing here and the exposure and whatnot obviously comes into play. And he did a lot here and had a great career here as well. So if I can get anywhere near Cam's career, I'll be pretty happy. So.
Besides the practice, what's the toughest part of the game part you had to adjust to, Jesse? I mean, you've got 2 games under your belt now.
Probably the length of the game. They've both been pretty long, especially when you're just standing there a lot of the day. And a lot of I hold as well, and a lot of our scores have been explosive, like big plays out of nowhere. So it's you got to kind of be ready and ready to go at any time, really. So probably that.
How much of an adjustment was that holding, and how difficult of a skill was that to learn to the level that they want it to be done?
I held a little bit back home before I got here, and again when I first got over here, I did some work with Drew and some holding work with Cam and Liam, the old long snapper here as well. So it's obviously difficult, it's not as natural, but we put a lot of work into it. Myself and Brad and Jake and Noah, the kickers. So I feel like we're getting it done, and we'll keep working on it as well. So.
You said you knew most of the rules here.
Yeah.
What was an example of something in spring practice or whatever, and you went, what are they doing? I don't understand this.
Honestly, just like everything about spring practice, like the periods, I didn't know like what was going on. Like the first pump period is always first period of practice, and it's pretty chaotic in pump period. It only goes for about 5 minutes, so just people flying everywhere. There's always stuff going on. Yeah, just trying to stay out of the way when I'm not involved, I guess. So yeah.
Who's your favorite race car driver, Ricardo or maybe Will Power? Who do you root for?
Ricardo. I'm a big Danny Rick fan. He had a good win on the weekend, so it was good to see.
There's players on this team from all over the United States, and then you're from Australia. I mean, what's it kind of like to just be a part of a team with people from so many different backgrounds, including your own?
Yeah, no, it's cool. I enjoy it. There's like guys from everywhere, all over the country here. Other guys from like Enoch's from Hawaii as well, which is pretty cool as well. So it's definitely different. It's different culture, I'd say. So it takes a bit of getting used to. People don't understand me that well as well, which is a bit tricky at times. But no, it's definitely like I guess good exposure. It's something different. It's something you don't get to do every day back home. So
what has surprised you about America, or what has kind of stood out about being here so far?
Just probably being here with the football and just how crazy it is with the fans, and like game day was obviously the first time I've seen the shoe full, and that was that's probably the biggest one, just how fanatic and passionate everyone is.
Well, outside of football, anything that stand out about Columbus or just America in general that kind of takes you by surprise or just stands out?
It doesn't really stand out, but like the food and stuff's pretty different, stuff like that. Just a lot of like different little cultural things that you probably wouldn't think twice about that are just completely different to back home. Obviously, I got my license here now as well, so driving is a bit different, but we work at that, so that's all good now.
Food different good or different like not so good?
Different good. It's just different. Everything's just most things are pretty different. So
what's that one thing you found you like?
One thing that I like.
Food-wise.
We get a lot of mac and cheese and stuff here, which is pretty good, so I can't complain with that. A lot of good chicken and stuff as well. The one thing I probably dislike, I think the coffee back home is a little bit better, but that's, I'm a big coffee guy, so that's probably the big one.
Do you miss Vegemite?
Not really. I do have some here. I made Thea. I used to live with Thea and Brad, and I made Thea try some, and he spat it out, and I wasn't too happy about it, but I don't really eat it myself. I used to when I was a kid, but that's about it.
How much does it help to have Noah, who's also new to the program?
Yeah.
Obviously, he's not new to football, but have you guys kind of helped each other in terms of getting used to the Ohio State culture?
Yeah, Noah's been really good. Like you said, he's played at this level before, and he's a mature guy. He's just a good guy as well. He's easy to talk to. We're all the specialists, pretty good friends outside of football as well. We golf together, and we spend a lot of time on the weekends together and stuff. So he's obviously been good, just someone to talk to, and obviously he's been through it all. So.
When you went to the shoe for the first time at 100,000 people, what was that like for you, just playing there?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Like, especially when I wasn't on the field, just taking it all in and looking around and seeing the fans. To be honest, when you're out there and like when you're punting, when you're holding, you don't think twice about it. Like it's one of those things that you're not sitting there like nervous to go on the field because of all the fans. Like you don't take notice of it, if I'm being honest. But like when you're not on the field though, and looking around and hearing the fans, a few big third downs we had on the weekend as well, which the student section was going crazy, which was pretty cool to see. So just trying to take it all in.
There's so much talk about the brotherhood and the culture here. I'm just curious, how does the culture within this program maybe compare to what you've experienced when you were playing Australian football?
It's just different. I think we got a really good culture here, considering how many guys there are on a team. Like back home, a roster of like a football team is 30, 40 guys, only 22 play each week. So it's obviously a smaller group. So a lot of people are a lot closer to each other. Obviously, it's hard here when there's 120 guys on a roster, but I think we do a pretty good job of all getting to know each other. I think fall camp's a great way to do that as well. You're here all day for a couple of weeks with everyone. Probably talk to guys you hadn't spoken to as much before as well. So yeah, I think we do a good job of
What was the biggest stadium you played in before Saturday?
Probably only like 5,000-10,000, and then obviously Minnesota. So yeah.
Yeah.
When did you decide to pursue this?
I think it was December 2019. After I took a trip over here, a vacation, I went and watched a friend of mine, Max Duffy, play at Kentucky, and kind of thought I could do this, and it looked like it was good fun and something I wanted to do. So yeah.